it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is the place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual. I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below. Right here, right now, please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. I really appreciate all the like love from the bottom of my heart, so don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're liking it. So today I'm going to be reviewing this movie. I've just finished watching it. This movie is called Hostage, and its main superstar, if you like, in terms of acting is Bruce Willis. Now, if you don't like spoilers, don't watch this. If you want to watch the movie, you hate spoilers and you don't want to know anything about it, then don't watch this video. But otherwise, if you're intrigued to know, then please do keep watching. So I've had this movie for a while. I haven't seen it for ages, so I've forgotten some of what happened in it, which is always the best type of movies to watch again in some ways because, you know, it's kind of fresh. So this is a really, really good movie. It's very, very action-packed. It's intriguing. There's little kind of like plot twists in a way, and yeah, if you don't like blood though, you might not like this movie because there's a lot of blood in it, there's a lot of killing in it, right? So it's a bit hardcore. So first of all, I'm asexual. If you didn't know what that means, it means I'm my sexual orientation is asexual. I'm part of the asexual spectrum. Asexuality is a spectrum of asexuals, and it's a type of sexual orientation that's a lack of sexual attraction. For me personally, that means I don't get the need, urge, want for partnered sexual intercourse. I'm not interested in sex. I don't like nudity. It's not my thing. So I try and pick movies that haven't got sex in them. This movie does not have sex in it. However, the main ringleader, who's a baddie in it, he is a bit perverted. And there's some scenes in it with a girl where you think he might rape her, but he doesn't. He just puts his head on her chest, where her boob is. That's kind of the most sexual, actual thing you see. You know, but it's always suggested he might rape her, but he doesn't actually do that. So that is something good. There's no actual nudity in the movie and no sex. So yes, to get down to the storyline then. So Bruce Willis is plays basically Tally is his last name. So Officer Tally, if you like. And basically he, in the beginning of the film, is a negotiator, a hostage negotiator. And you see that he's looking really rough in the beginning. He's got a beard that he's kind of like combing with his fingernails. He's looking very like tired, worn out, you know, like really not looking after himself very well. And he's dealing with this hostage situation in which there's a guy who's captured a mother and their child in this house, and he wants basically he's going to kill them, and it's up to Tally, played by Bruce Willis, to negotiate the hostage's freedom. And he's been there 16 hours. You can tell he's getting really tired and he's trying his best, but it goes wrong. And there's a chance that the son of the mother in the house could be saved if the armed people had gone in, but she only had a 20% chance of being saved. But unfortunately, the guy who wants to kill them, he brings the son into the room with them. And so basically he missed his opportunity to get the son out of there safely. And in the end, what happens is he doesn't save them, and the guy kills the mother, the son, and himself. So it's very hardcore beginning. I mean, and there's a lot of blood in the beginning. So it's kind of a bit like, oh my God, it's a bit shocking. You know, it's a bit disgusting. The blood's quite realistic. So yeah, it kind of makes you feel a bit queasy and like, ugh, that's disgusting, gross. But the reason they show you that is because they want to show you what he was before, a hostage negotiator, and he just was in tears and he can't deal with it anymore. He's fed up with the job. He blames himself for obviously their deaths because he didn't negotiate well enough to save them. So basically he goes, he then goes and gets a job elsewhere. So that was in Los Angeles that he didn't succeed. He goes and moves with his wife and daughter, and he moves with them to a smaller like I think it's a town rather than a city. But he goes and moves anyway with them, and he becomes a police officer, like a chief of police, rather than a negotiator, right? So he basically is like dealing with crimes, but in a much more low-key way, and it's meant to be like a quiet area. Nothing much is meant to happen. It's kind of like every day is meant to be like keeping everyone safe day, because nothing much goes on. And then one day, Tally, again, like I said, played by Bruce Willis, he goes behind this van with these 3 delinquent kids in there. Well, they're like teenage guys by the look of it. Maybe a little bit older, the late teens, early 20s, right? And so he goes and notices in the van, and they're kind of like, you know, he's watching them for speeding and stuff like that. And so he then goes back home, and you see that his wife and his daughter and him aren't getting on. He's not talking to his wife as much as he should be. The daughter's resenting him, and the wife's kind of not really liking it for moving them. He's not really talking and letting her in. He's kind of shutting her out all these emotions that's going on. And so the daughter continually thinks they're going to get divorced, and so he's arguing with the mother about it. Like, and then in the end, she's like, "Why don't you two get divorced?" And Tally's not getting on with his daughter. So this is really central to the main plot. You know, there's lots of little plots going on. So yeah. So what happens to these 3 delinquent guys is they decide to steal a car of a very wealthy family. They see this girl go in. One of them recognizes the girl, and they follow her, and they go back to her place where her dad lives and her brother lives. She's from a very rich family, and so they plan to steal this car, but it goes wrong in the sense that basically, instead of just stealing the car, the guy who's the ringleader, who's a baddie, you find out later that there's 2 brothers, right? So the delinquents are 2 brothers, and this guy, you find out later, I think it's the younger brother, says the older brother, you've only known this guy like 3 weeks, and you find out later in the movie that he's done a lot of offences, like he's killed people and just watched them die. So you know he's a really, really bad guy who doesn't give a toss about anyone, basically. So these 3 people in the house, and they decide to take over they decide to knock, the guy's the ringleader, knocks the father. There's a father, daughter and son. The mother's meant to be dead, and so there's just but this father, the rich place that they've tried to steal the car from, he's involved in some crime himself, because he's working for some criminal active people that later pose as FBI agents but aren't really, right? So he's basically been encrypting stuff on disk, which is files that these people that have been posing as FBI's in disguise, basically he's been working for them, encrypting stuff, secret files onto disks, and then has to drop them off. So that's kind of, I guess, where all his money comes from. And so the house is built like Fort Knox. It's got all security in it. But what happens is it ends up trapping them, because the 3 delinquents, the guy who's the ringleader, he decides that he is going to kill a police officer who comes to the door, because he's already knocked the father to the floor, tied him up, knocked the father to the floor. The father's unconscious, and he's taped the kids up. And so basically what happens is not the ringleader, but the older brother of the 2, so there's 2 brothers and a ringleader, the older brother, he says he's in charge of the whole situation. He wants a helicopter. He finds the money in this guy's safe, so he basically wants a helicopter to get out with his brother and this ringleader and go and live happily ever after with the money. They're after money, basically, not just after the car anymore. They're after the money. But what happens is they end up being surrounded by police. A negotiator comes in, because it can't be Tally anymore, can't be Bruce Willis who plays Tally anymore, because he doesn't do hostage negotiations anymore. He wanted a quiet life. And so what happens is this other negotiator comes in, and he kind of hands over the case to them. The ringleader and the 2 brothers that are in the house that are holding the others hostage, the father on the floor and the daughter and the son, which are the 2 kids, the ringleader's in the house, and he decides to basically make it like Fort Knox and put all the shutters down that's supposed to keep people out. Instead it's keeping those criminals in with the family that they're holding hostage, so it becomes their fortress and like their own trap. So it's very, very interesting film, very lots of plot twists in it, little plot twists. And then there's the son, who's a young boy, and he manages to escape to different rooms, because when he goes in his room, he manages to cut himself free, because when he's with his sister, he finds like she's been taking drugs or something. She's got a bong which has got some glass, so he tries to free himself with with his sister, and they end up falling off the bed, and then someone takes him away to a separate room from his sister, and he's got this special like maze hidey holes which he goes up to in the house, and they're like secret passages all over the house. Then he sees Chief Tally on this TV as the police officer running the main police officer running the case, and he starts talking to him. And then what happens is, in the meantime, there's people who pose as FBI people who trap Tally in the car and say, we've got your daughter and your wife, because they trap Tally in the car because Tally goes to get some takeaway or something for the wife and daughter, because he's going home because he's not in this negotiation with the ringleader and the two brothers in the house that holding hostage this rich man, the rich man's daughter and son. He thinks, right, I'm going home for the night, I've left it to the negotiator that's now dealing with it. I go home, but what happens is he goes and gets takeaway or something, and he gets back in the car, and these people like have masks on, and they handcuff him, and they open the van, and they've got his daughter and wife in the back. So then it becomes the fact that he's then got to become the hostage negotiator again, and go and solve this problem of getting those daughter and son and the bloke out of the house, as well as the disc. There's a disc that I said he'd encrypted. He's got to get all that. Well, they basically, the FBI people want the disc out of there, right? But he's got to take over the hostage again, which he's got a lot of opposition to. But in the end, the guy who says he's a ringleader, it's not, because he's the older brother. He doesn't trust the negotiator anymore, so he wants Tally anyway. And then the boy, the rich man's boy, who's been going around like in secret passages in the house, he's been sees Tally on the TV, phones him up and says, I want your help. So Tally then becomes the negotiator. So he's got his family's life at stake, his wife, and his daughter's life at stake, with the people that are posing as FBI that aren't, which want the disc out of the rich guy's home because it's got stuff that they need on it. And then, because he's doing dodgy criminal activities, basically. And then he's also got the case of the rich guy in the house with his two children. He manages to get the rich guy out the house without the children for a time, but he cocks up another negotiation where he tries to get money off the older brother, which he says he's in command, but he finds out he's not. He's in second in command. The ringleader is the one that's that's not part of the brothers. And when he tries to negotiate the money with the older brother and say, you can have your helicopter, and so you keep 1 million, I get the other million, he goes to get the two brothers and the ringleader out of the house. The ringleader basically says, if we're going in the helicopter, I'm taking the girl with me. And Tally's like, well, no, that's not part of the deal. And he's lied to the older brother, saying that the guy he knocked on the head, the rich guy, which was their father, which he managed to get out before, he lies and said he was dead so that the guy would give him money. And then when he comes to like drop off the helicopter and realizes they're trying to kidnap the girl, that's not into the helicopter as well. That's not what he can do, because he's got to negotiate their freedom and safety. So he's got to go back. And then it's really like, it's a lot of deaths, because in the end, basically the guy who's like, I'm really going to spoil it now. So if you don't want to listen to this, if you don't want to know the rest of the movie, don't know it, because this is the ending. So basically the guy who's the ringleader, he kills the two brothers who was helping him. Particularly the older brother, not really the younger brother, was opposed to it the whole time. He basically killed the younger brother by chucking him over the stairwell, and then killed the older brother. So it's just him left in the house with the rich man's daughter and and son, so the brother and sister, and in the end he decides to burn down the house. It's really, really spectacular. So you can see this film's action packed, it's very dramatic, it's full of loads of effects. You're on the edge of your seat a lot of the time, because this guy who's the ringleader, he just doesn't care who he kills. And so you've got this kind of sense of, you want people to live, but they die. But in the end, Tally manages to, with the rich guy, manages to save his own family, and the rich guy's family basically he saves, and then the rich guy helps him save his own wife and daughter in the end. And the FBI people, the majority of them, quite a lot of them, get killed. So basically, yeah, all the ones at the end do, that captured his daughter and wife. And so yes, it's a very, very interesting movie. There's a lot of psychology stuff going on with Tally, because he failed negotiations before, you know, and it's a case of, you know, can I get the daughter and the son out, can I get this guy out and the father out safely, can I save the day? And he wants to save the guys' lives as well, that, you know, the two brothers has basically got to help him in his mission to steal the car and get this money, and, you know, get a helicopter and basically get, you know, and the two brothers die. So he didn't actually save the two brothers that were with the part of the three delinquents, with the ringleader killed them. So, you know, it's got a lot of psychology. You know, it's got because rich man's son and daughter, and if he does go and save them, the people that are dressed up as FBIs, that are fake FBIs, they said don't interfere, otherwise your daughter and your wife will get killed, because they've captured them. So he has to decide whether to save the kids in the house or to save his own wife or daughter, or both. In the end, it happens to be that both of them get out, but not the delinquents, not the two brother delinquents. Don't they die as well? So it's very, very interesting. But you're always like, you know, because I've forgotten a lot of the movie. I remember this guy who's a ringleader. He's basically off his head. He's completely insane. He doesn't care who he kills. He has no emotions whatsoever, but actually loves watching them die. And so, you know, at the end, this is very where he put, you know, has all the house on fire. He literally has bottles, and he's literally like set it up so there's, you know, like things like go off in flames very quickly, and he's got these bottles, he's walking, he's got blood all pouring down his face, he's coming down like a really mad guy. He's been shot, and he's walking forward with these things he's made with these bottles, with these like, look a bit like candle wicks, and literally there's flames coming out of them. It's just so well done. The stuntmen that did the actual flames that were on fire is incredible. So I would definitely recommend watching Hostage. You have some time when, you know, it's not just before you go to bed, because it might give you a bit of nightmares if you're very sensitive to blood and death and stuff like that. So I try to watch this type of movie when I know that I'm not going to be going to bed for a while yet. Yeah, because it is hardcore. For me, it's hardcore anyway. It might not be for you. It's a certificate 15. So anyway, I'm going to love you for now. Don't forget to check out Hostage if you haven't already seen the movie. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that great big bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live like that or post new video. And yeah, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next video live stream. Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye. Bye. Thanks for watching.